All right, everyone, welcome back to the live stream. Good afternoon, everyone. Yep, we'll give them another 1 or 2 minutes to join for everyone else to get in, and then we'll get going. We'll take a look at what happened during lunchtime, and we'll set up some targets for the next hour to see where price may be going, and then we'll go from there. Crypto, did you get a nap? That's one trouble, no more. All right, Fuego, what are you looking at? Let me know what you're looking at, and then I will take a look. Okay, constant encroachment of the fair value gap above. Okay, so you're looking on 5 minute. Awesome, awesome. Okay. And it came all the way down to the tick of the lower edge of the breaker at 335, and finally made a high at 414. Oh, that's a good trade. That's solid. That's a huge range. If you got in at the beginning of the gap, still you're saying 367 to 413. That's a range of 47, 48 points. Should have been easy to squeeze 30 out of that. Brother Free, I didn't take a trade. There's some others in the group who did make some, but as you can see from price action, the range was pretty small. So if you were looking for trades and you took a profit, you were going to get anywhere from 20 to 40 points, but no big runners. Fuego. I know. Let me know what are you looking at as far as your setup, so I can help you with confirming whether it's bearish or bullish. Right. I want to help you learn this concept as well. So tell me what you see and what confuses you, and then I'll try to help. All right. What was this? Just equal highs. All right. So I can remove that now. All right. Bullish breaker didn't hold. All right. I think everyone should be here now. So let's go ahead and mark up high and low from lunch hour. There's our low, and here's our high. Okay, we still have a London low not traded into, and then down here is the previous day low. So those are areas that we have marked up on our screen here. So just before we got off of the morning session, we saw a bullish momentum out of the 3-minute breaker block, which has held all the way since 2 o'clock this morning for the London session. So it was created here. We had a big impulse out. We had the second entrance in here because the first entrance was this candle right here at 225 on this 5-minute. It dipped right in by a couple ticks. We got a return right at 10 o'clock during the news event. So news came out. We had a big push down, like first couple seconds, first minute, everything pushed down, and then it started building back up. But it pushed down into this yellow area, which is the new day opening gap, as well as just past the 50% of the breaker, the same breaker from the London Open. We saw bullish momentum once again, pushed out, swept the previous highs, the London high. Then at 10:30, 30 minutes after the news event, we saw another crash of price, crash back down to the, you guessed it, fair value gap. I'm sorry, the new day opening gap once again, but to the lower extreme, piercing right through it. However, closing back towards the upper edge of it. Also closing towards the middle, the 50% mark of the breaker block. So the same breaker has held price ever since 2 o'clock this morning. And then we saw another bullish push out. This was at 11 o'clock, sweeping the New York highs. I'm sorry, New York high actually was swept before. That would have been 10 o'clock. So it would have been these equal highs over here. And then maybe, yeah, this is 10:10. Yep. So it would have been here, would have been the New York high, or I stand corrected. It's this one here. So this was the New York high, which was swept with the news as it pushed up. And then, yes, crashed down back into the breaker once again, except this time it really overtook the high, pushed through. And then we're into the lunch hour. From lunch, we had a retracement back into a fair value gap that was created as price was building up just before lunch. Traded back in. Also, here's a breaker created here on the 5-minute. Blue edge. So let me take the fair value gap off. Okay, so we can see the breaker. Make it a little larger. And we can see it came almost one tick below the edge of the breaker. And then it started building back up, overtaking the previous high and settling in up at 414, which is currently our lunch high. And from there, we got a retracement back into the breaker. And even now we see it pierced through once we started at 1 o'clock, but retrace and close back inside the breaker. And now we see a bullish momentum again. So we'll keep watching price and see where it wants to go and what it wants to do. But for now, this breaker seems to be holding. And okay, when price went down, it almost touched the 830, almost touched the 830 value. We would like to see a sweep of lows if price is going to go higher. So this lunch low is what we'd like to see swept. So keep your eyes open for 322.5 for when price goes down. What would be optimal would be to come down, sweep the lunch low, hit the midnight open, and then come out of it. But we'll see what price wants to do. Seek and destroy. Yeah, if you know how to trade the zone, seek and destroy can be profitable for you. If you don't know how to trade the zone, today is a paper trading day for you. Unless you start seeing the price break out. Otherwise, yep. Look at what we have ever since London. It's pretty much the same range from 260 up to around 400. And that's really only just in lunchtime where we reached that. But before that, it was from 260 to about 370. So a 100-point range, and it's just kind of back and forth. Now we have to ask ourselves the question if we're going to now sweep these lows. And it's going to be one of those days where it just kind of builds itself, gets larger and larger and larger. Okay, let's give a peek over to the other indices. All right, let's S&P out of the screen. Okay, got our immediate rebalance of Nasdaq and push up. S&P is leaving a fair value gap. And so far, the Dow also is leaving a fair value gap. Up above, we have bearish fair value gaps. The last time we traded in, which was during the 12 o'clock hour, we reached about 50% of this hourly bearish fair value gap, and price crashed afterwards. Retreats back through, started 1 o'clock, another push down, and then started to build again. Okay. Where did you put your stop loss crypto? If I entered at the top of the breaker, I probably would have put mine just right at the low of this fair value gap. So I would have been stopped out if I was just doing the breaker. But if I traded the fair value gap, then my stop loss would be right at the midnight open. Hey, on this full leg, we've already gotten a 61.8% retracement just 10 minutes ago. Create a new fair value gap here on the 5-minute. All right, retest of the breaker here. See if the breaker continues to hold or if we see displacement through the lower edge down to lunch lows. Again, I was looking for lunch lows and potentially a retest of the midnight open. Excuse me for one moment. Wait, my apologies. All right, looks like crypto, you were right. It is not going to go down and touch those levels. And I almost entered here too. I went and reconnected my account and was like, I think I want to take it, but I didn't. uh, yeah, Brad, I find that in my, I trade a bit more loose when I'm in a demo account. I believe in the trade more. I'm willing to let it go until it either stops out or TPs. Um, yeah, for me, it's just a mental block I can't get over sometimes. But then other times I can, where I'll let it hit my stop loss and just say, okay, all right, so on to the next setup. And then other times hitting that stop loss just stings a little harder. Yeah, crypto. I think you're looking at the same thing I am. I was also looking at potentially if we get a push down to these lower levels, then we actually have made a bearish break or two in the same area. So we would have invalidated the bullish one and then threw in a bearish one. And I found that on the 3 minute, it seems. William, what's up? Welcome back. Yep, absolutely crypto. And one of the reasons why I didn't take a trade is because the last 2 days I've had a loss both days. So it's not really worth it for me to jump in trying to recover some of that lost profit. Not on a day like today, especially when it's not really giving me what I'm looking for, and the range doesn't seem to be as prominent as I like it. Yep, absolutely. Yep. So in 20 minutes, we'll take a look at the macro and see where it takes us next. While we're waiting, let's just for those who weren't here in the morning session, we just review where we landed with the news. Oops, never even checked the PMI there. All right, so manufacturing looks to be better than expected as far as what their outlook is and maybe their output. But unemployment claims did come up a little bit higher than they had anticipated. And looking at tomorrow, 8:30, there's three high impact news events happening at the same time. And then, of course, at 10 o'clock, we have a revised University of Michigan sentiment. But NFP, that's the big one for tomorrow. So unemployment rate and non-farm employment change. Those are the two big ones that we're looking for. All right. Look at that long go. Who is that? Brad, I'm with you. I have a long in my demo as well. So it's like, why can't you do it in your live account? All right, William. Good job. Good job. And good luck on your final 1,000. Okay. Yep. Definitely not worth rushing it, William. So just take your time. If you don't like anything right now, just sit on your hands for a bit, look for something better later. And if that never comes, then take that up tomorrow. I'm doing good. And I'm great. How are you? Okay, still trading in between the lunchtime range. You see the lunchtime low, we got close to it, but then start pushing away. And you see now we're close around the same distance from the lunchtime high. You haven't missed any trades today. I haven't taken any. You have not missed any. All right, William, no problem. I'm in a long in my demo from what's that, 370. So it's not a great entry, but good enough. I would have preferred to have caught the fair value gap down at 364. TT at 250. Okay, 62.50. 1 to 2.5. All right, good job, Brad. Hey. So it did not take the lunchtime high, but we do see breakdown in price. Now we want to make sure price doesn't get hung up before sweeping these lows. All right, Zach, how's it going? Yep, just remember what crypto said just a few minutes ago. It's that this might be a seek and destroy day. So it's just going to start looking for highs and lows where people feel protected and just come and take them out. So if you do have a winning trade and you're up 20, 25 points, you might want to consider partials. I'm still waiting till 150 to see what happens during 150. So actually, you know what? Let me go to the 5 minute until then. We'll hang tight on the 5 minute. Oh, wow. Lost 3 accounts. Dang. Sorry about that, DB. Yeah, I didn't even see that before. Yeah, it might be worth just cutting out this week and just chilling out for the rest of today and tomorrow as well. Going back and repracticing your strategy over the weekend just to regain confidence in that strategy, and then come back next week. Hopefully, price is moving differently. This is NFP week as well as FOMC, so there was a lot of volatility, but a lot of fake outs. So don't feel bad. I'm 0 for 2 this week as well, and that's one of the reasons why I wasn't too excited about trading earlier, unless I saw something I liked and I didn't, or I saw it too late. So it's just one of those things. Don't let this week ruin you. If things aren't going well, just kind of step to the sideline and come back when conditions are different. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. If you have any questions on after you finish your research and you come back next week, let me know. And as always, I would appreciate it if you use my links below or in the description. Apex, I do not know about Apex, but a lot of people in this trading room use Apex. DB, I hope someone else can jump in and help you out. But there are a lot of people who use Apex and like Apex. Another 5 minutes and we'll have our macro period. Another 5 minutes. Sorry, I had the wrong one marked up. Why is it so far away? There it is. It was 250. I needed 150. Fair value gap here. Let's see if it trades above and closes above. And then once we cross over into 150, maybe that's when we see these lows fail. We see the lunch low taken. And then we see a retest of the midnight open. That's me and my crystal ball if I had one. Looking over at the dollar, I'm not getting very much activity out of the dollar for this hour. It's really a short range, similar to what we saw during lunch. But 11 o'clock was massive range for the dollar. So it could be that it's exhausted at the moment. It did recently, during lunch, take out a swing low on the hourly. And so maybe that's why the dollar is being very lethargic so far this hour, which also could explain why we're getting this, where price really hasn't moved. Take 2 more minutes, and then we're in the macro. It's like a head and shoulders. Where? On the 15? I don't see it. Unless you're saying it's an upside down head and shoulders, where this would be a shoulder. There's the head, another shoulder. Tracement back into the order, into the breaker, and then you get bullish momentum out. But seek and destroy is essentially a range. So you have highs and lows, and it does this, just taking out stops back and forth. Right? That's seek and destroy. Or you get it starting in like a tight weave like this, and the weave just keeps getting bigger. So One of those two things will happen, but either way, it's always the highs and lows. Neither one holds. They continue to be broken. Oh, jumped in for another one, Brad. Okay, all right. And that Seek and Destroy, that was for Trackologists. Oh, thanks, Crypto. Appreciate you. Hmm. Let's go back down to the 5. Okay, so we're inside of the macro. Let me get down to the 1 minute. Hmm. All right, Brad. Well, good job. Way to go. Mm-hmm. Even though it's been a slow grind these past few minutes, its price is still making higher highs. Just just be patient, Fuego. Or maybe if you've had some of the experience I've had with jumping in trades too early, maybe that would help, Fuego. I've had my fair share of non-disciplined trades. I'll tell you that. Yep, the 5 minute bullish breaker, it is still holding. That's right. This was not a 3. This was a 5 minute. I think it was 5. Oh, intermediate term high. What do you DB? What are you talking about exactly? Which level? All right, so we have that pattern again, right? Where it gets smaller and smaller. This one will probably hit here and then come here. We'll take this. We'll do this. Okay, we've crossed over into 2 o'clock. So anyone who's a silver bullet trader, you're now in that time frame. Not that I see anything that's readily available. Five minutes. I think I'll go ahead and all right, there we go. Make that a little more precise. Let's get rid of this macro line. It's so far it hasn't done anything during this time period. We got another 5 minutes left. Okay, we did get a break of this trend line that I've drawn here, but we have a trade back into the zone so far. It's another 4 minutes left on this candle, so there's plenty of time to push through. Okay, there it is. Here we are down at the 3 minute. We still have a bearish fair value gap it needs to press through. Even on a 2-minute, we've had a retracement back into the zone and a closure inside. Opening up right on the trend line. Let's see if we at least take out the previous candle's high. Failure to take out that high will likely push us back in the zone. All right, that high has been taken now. All right, there we go. Finally, a breakout. Let's go back to the 5-minute and see where we are as far as the candle closure. So we got another minute remaining. Okay, trade right back into the zone. That's disappointing. I really thought we had made some headway there and was going to close outside and was going to stay outside. Maybe this is just a wick back in and we'll see what happens. If it does want a deeper retracement, it could go down to this fair value gap at 371. We now have relative equal highs now. Price can retrace back in. find some PD array, collect a few more orders, and then run buy side liquidity here. You shorted it? All right, MS. Well, you are at least up by around 15 to 20 handles, depending on where you got in at. So good luck. Not really, Tommy. We just had a seek and destroy for the start of our session. So we shot down, came 85% back up, 85% down, swept those highs, traded right back into the zone. So it seems like it's just sweeping highs and lows. So if you're in a trade, get your 20, 30, 40 points and look for exits. Maybe leave a runner on to see if it's moving in that direction for the rest of the afternoon. But when you find a liquidity pool, collect your profits. Yep, next it could be. It could. I still have the lunchtime, the session high marked up here at 414 and the low down at 322. Right? We still haven't touched either one. Just before 1 o'clock, we made the high, traded off of that 90% of the way down, didn't take out the low, started building back up, didn't take out the high, started trading back down, didn't take out lows, traded back up, swept one high, but not the ultimate high. So it's just, price is just back and forth. It hasn't really decided where it's going to go. We may actually get this for the rest of the afternoon, but we'll have to wait and see. We're just now at 215. Mm. Yeah, there are some rejections to the upside on the 15-minute. You're right about that. In fact, a lot of rejection from the upside. But those also, I know you say those are sale candles, but they also create the equal highs that later on price will come get. So maybe it will trade down once again, find a breaker or fair value gap or something to provide some support, and then we'll come for these equal highs at some point. Yep, you're right, Ray. We have not had a single one close above on the 15-minute time frame. They continue to trade up higher, and before the closure, they're retracing back down below. 1 hour city. 1 hour city. Okay. Ray, which one are you referring to? The one from 9 a.m. or the one from 4 a.m. yesterday? Oh, 9 a.m. Okay. Yep, that's the one we're in now. We're getting close to the edge of that. Right here. Hey, let's finally broke out of that. That's the high of that city. Now we're in a larger city, which has around a 50% mark at 412, 413, somewhere in there. Basically the lunch high. Oh, how nice of it to fail there. Yeah, William, I'm with you as well. Question is when? When is it going to clear that session high? All right, I can remove this. This is distracting. $359. We've seen that before. Okay, traded down 50% of that candle body. Let's see if that was enough to push price higher. All right, final 15 seconds. All right, we're getting close to 2:30 here, which is about halfway through our session this afternoon. Still monitoring how price is reacting to this 1 hour SIBI high. It can't seem to break above the level and close. It did once and immediately traded back into the range. Got right up to the edge, close inside of the range again. We'll see if this candle can push through. If not, what we're going to see is a deeper retracement, probably sweep some lows and see if it can't pick up some more orders and have more momentum the next try. Okay. Seven. Hmm. Where's that? Sergio. Yes, Sergio. But when I see the breaker, when I see the 1407 candle, that's a bearish breaker you're talking about. But then when price traded above it at 14, 17, 18, 19, 20, all of those candles above, that violates that breaker on the 1 minute. Okay. All right, let's keep looking to see if there's something else we can use or something else we can do. All right. All right, we're doing this thing again. We had a break to the upside the last time this pattern was formed, and it was here. This was the down slope. We had a big push through with this candle at 205, and then immediate retrace of the entire range. Slow build back up. Looked like it was going to resume the momentum that was built 2 candles before, and now we're slow dripping back down. Hmm. Mm-mm-mm. All right, let's give the other indices a try to see what's going on their side. Okay. Still, since lunchtime, the dollar really hasn't done a lot. So I'm wondering if it's reached what it was looking for, if it met the level, the daily, basically the daily goal. And now it's for 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and now so far in the 2 o'clock hour, not much of a range at all, which then has led to similar activity for the different indices. We have the Dow selling, S&P kind of neutral, not really having a candle body at all, and the Nasdaq buying just a little bit, just slightly, but still large wick above, showing a huge rejection on the first half of the hour. I'm gonna mark off 50%. I just kind of eyeballed that, but I think it's close enough. All right. Crypto. Yeah, go ahead and catch a nap. If you look at price action, trust me, you miss nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's the second time in the last half hour that we've done this to look to see when price wants to break out. It broke out, what, 30 minutes ago after looking at it for the previous 30 to 45 minutes. So we've been doing the same thing for the last hour and 15 minutes. Yep, it's the afternoon session before NFT or NFP. I remember ICT used to always say that on NFP week, he preferred to close all his trades and finish trading by Thursday AM session. Like he never really liked the Friday, and he didn't like Thursday afternoon either. Hmm. No, we got an overcast here in Phoenix. Not sunny today. Okay, now we're back at the top end of this little funnel that it's creating. Higher lows and lower highs. All right, now it's starting at the top end of the range. Let's see what happens in this candle. Okay, there we go. Just like last time. We had the downward slope. We had this one candle here break out. Although the next candle brought us right back in the range and just kind of did its thing. But that one breakout candle, if you ran along from down here somewhere, that was a good exit for you. But I know everyone's been looking for this lunch high, and it made sure it got close to it and then retraced back down. But since we expect for equal highs or relative equal highs to be taken, when it gets close and retraces, usually it finds a fair value gap or something to then come back and try it again. But on this 5 minute, there wasn't a fair value gap anywhere. So it just more or less consolidated until it's ready to do another expansion. And even now, it still hasn't taken that lunch high. So we're still waiting. Thought the last macro period at 150 would do it. It didn't. So now 250 is coming up in another 10 minutes. Maybe that's going to be the one that actually pushes through 414 level. Amazon, Apple, and Meta earnings. Okay. Oh, wow. Those are like the most valuable companies in the world. So, okay. uh, Sergio, are those announced at 4 o'clock? Oh, okay. Got it. 5 p.m. Eastern to be exact. Oh, wow. All right. So we're not going to catch it today. But that's probably going to be one of those when it opens back up at 1800, you're going to see a huge spike or a big gap somewhere. It's going to be one of those days where we get to the end of the day and we feel like nothing really happened. And then you look at the range from down here until where it ends up and you say, oh my goodness, that was 200 points. But the way it delivers it to you, it doesn't give you any confidence to take any of it. Mm. Yeah, I guess those who have their own private funds are able to trade up until 4:59, I guess, and even hold into the next session. Oh, wow, look at that. Look at the lunch high. Finally. Finally something happened. Yeah, over so we can see the wick. Let's get rid of the things we don't need any longer. These can all go. This one too. We still have the 1 hour Civi high. We got to close out. So we got another 12 minutes before I remove this line here. See if we can't get consequent encroachment of this 1 hour wick. Anyone in a long, go ahead and make sure that you're protecting yourself. I think Brad said he was in a long, I think. Look at that meltdown. All out moments ago. Okay. Yeah, I had money in on my demo account, and most of it is all closed out already. I was within I had an exit at 432 and a quarter, and it got to 432 flat. So didn't quite get it, but let's see if the next push can get up there. Okay, another minute and a half to close out this candle. Then we'll have, oh, this is the 4 minute we're looking at. Sorry, let's get back to the 5. Watching on the 1 minute just to see how price is reacting on that fractal period. But also I'm looking at the 5 as well. It's 7 minutes before power hour. So let's see if we can finish up strong and definitely close above the 17,400 level. So the city can then be invalidated. Gonna do anything here. Still got 4 minutes left on this candle. See if it overtakes these two highs here. Okay, just want to let's remind everyone what a previous day high is. So if we do manage to get through this 434 level, Remember the 414 level was very difficult. We finally got through it, which was the lunchtime high. 434 probably won't be too difficult, but the previous day high at 484. Keep that as your next target. No, Martin, I didn't take any on the screen here in my Topstep account. I only took a demo trade just within the last hour and a half. It just kind of floated around for a while and then it finally delivered. But no, I did not take a Topstep trade today. 484. Okay. You went long at 410. Okay. Crypto, did you take the long at 410 when there was the big retracement at I guess 249? 249, there was a retracement after, like, it seems like right after it took the lunchtime high, it retraced. Okay, so I can delete this 1 hour SIBI. That SIBI is no longer uh, part of confluence of price right now. So we can go ahead and delete that. That was on the 1 hour chart. However, we're still inside of a larger 1 hour SIBI. We're close to the top end of it though. The top edge is for, let's see, 441 and a half. So we're pretty close. But the previous day high is what flips us back bullish on a higher time frame. So hopefully that gives us something to look forward to tomorrow. Oh man, yeah, no, price action hasn't been great, everyone. But the likes that we have, only 30 on this video with 90 people in the room, tells me you guys aren't having a good time, and you probably feel like you're wasting your time. Hmm. All right, guys, this is Power Hour. We have a final hour of trading today. I don't know. You guys let me know. Do you want to continue on, or should I just cut the feed now and let's move on, and we'll come back tomorrow. Yeah, I know our core, 30 to 40 people. I know you guys are enjoying the feed, and you're the ones that hit the like button. But it's the other 40 people that are in the room now, who also can hit the like button and choose not to. So I'm just wondering, what do they want? Do they want me to continue, or they good and they want to go on with the rest of their day? All right, Brad, take care. All right, so show must go on. All right, I don't want to punish the regulars who are here every day. So the show will go on, and I'm just going to have to assume that those people are not logged in with an account that can like the video. All right, previous day high in sight, 40 points away. Okay. Almost finished. Okay, there's a previous day high in sight now. We look at just this leg of structure we have so far. Trading back into discount will get us into a fair value gap on the 5-minute. And so will trading back to 71%. 71% gets us into the small little sliver fair value gap. Maybe make it a little larger. Down to 402. And that's if we go that far down. Right. Watch the retracement if you're in a long right now. Or 18.25. Or 17. All right. So almost to 50%, not quite. Just let it continue to print price. Maybe it's the next candle that'll get us there. Mm-mm. All right, let's wait and see how this candle closes. Looks like we might get a closure up in this area, which could then start momentum into the next candle to get us above this high. And if we can get that, then we should be able to continue the upwards buying momentum that we were getting. Okay, this candle is closed. Let's see how much momentum carries over into the next candle. 4,000. Hmm. Inverted hammer candles. I've never tried it before. I'm not saying that it doesn't work. Have you ever tried it before? Weeks fitting at 4,000. HDS. I'm not following you. Mm-hmm. Nami or Nomi. I can't tell you to buy or sell, but right now, if you look at the trend of the market, everything is looking bullish, at least for the last couple of hours, 2 to 3 hours. We're looking at potentially reaching this target at 484. But we have about 45 minutes left in today's session, so not sure if it'll get up there or not, but there is enough time if price wants to go. But it could wait for next session or tomorrow to get up there because this level is the high from yesterday, so it's a previous day high. Weeks. Six. HDS. Well, not HDS. Sorry, Cool, Calm, Collected. I'm not sure. I see what you see. I wonder if maybe our charts are slightly different. Are you using futures or are you using CFDs? Oh, thank Ash. Yeah, it's pretty long. It's 6 hours every day. Days like today make it feel longer just because there's not a lot happening. And let me go down to the 1 minute. Cool, Calm, help me out here. You said 1310. 1310 is this candle right here that created a fair value gap. And 1348. That looks like this doji candle right here. Oh, SPY. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Mm-mm-mm. Let's see if we get something good out of this area here. I can see down on the 1 minute, there's a fair value gap just below that it already tapped into. So hopefully that pushes price and we can shoot for those highs up near 450. A reversal candle. Okay, so you're talking about this one here, full calm. The last high candle that pulled back. Yeah, I'm assuming you're talking about this one. Could you scalp that candle? Hmm. Um, I would say yes and no. If I was going to do that, what I would do is, right. So if this creates your swing high, these three candles, hang on, let me see if I can find something here. Hmm. Okay, anyway. So if this was the swing high that I was looking at, um, let's start down here somewhere. Let's say this is your high, and here's your left, here's your right. When you break this high here, over here, then if I was going to do that, what I would do is I would scalp a long when it returns back into this range. Right. So when this candle broke, if this candle traded back in, then I would scalp out of it. Um, Outside of that, yeah, I'm not really sure. Or if you're talking about this one, right? Same thing. When this candle broke through, right above, trade back down, then you want to scalp out. Um, but that's probably the only way I would look at it as far as trying to make a scalp from there. But again, I haven't back tested that, so I would have to think of a strategy to utilizing that, and then going back test and figure out how to make an entry, where to place a stop loss, and then how many points I should look for a TP. Most likely it'd be looking for just clips in this high. So if you traded it back into this area, essentially the order block, then you just, if you scalp and you just want to take a quick hit here, which is still 10 to 15 points. Yeah, I mean, the 1 minute, it should be the same. Shouldn't be any different. Right? I'm sure you're looking at this one here. So when you come back and you overtake this high, right? You overtake the high, you push up, you're still going to expect a retracement. It's going to come right back into the order block. It's going to push higher. And you're going to get another one. And then you're going to do the same thing. Yep. The only difference is usually when you hit a PD array of some kind, when you hit a PD array, when it retraces back down, it won't stop right here at the next order block. It's going to push through and it's going to find the next fair value gap below. And here you see it found it, then it's going to consolidate and it's going to push out. So then this would be your high, or this would be your TP. If you only had one contract, you look for that to be hit and then you want to exit. If you had multiple contracts, you will let that get hit and then you'll look for the next one. So when this makes a high and starts to retrace, then the next high would be the one. So if you had a runner, you let your runner hit the next high. So then you'd have one exit here and then one at whatever the next high was. And that's just me making something up right on the spot because I've never back tested what you just mentioned or traded that way. Yeah. Okay, but when you say the candle to the left, the black candle, right? Let's say this was here and it starts retracing. How would you scalp that? What do you mean scalp that? Scalp back to the high from somewhere down here? Is that what you're saying? Taking puts. Okay, so you're trading options. Or TP3. 518. All right, crypto. That's 484. Before. Then you got your new week opening gap. 504. 27. Basically 512 in the middle. Mm. Good. This candle here. Are you saying take this candle as a continuation back up? Yep. Yeah, sorry, cool, calm, collected, man. It seems like it's Seems like we keep missing each other. But long story short, no, I have never scalped that before. So it's something that you'll have to come up with a strategy for and back test it. So you're going to have to practice. You're going to figure out what stop loss you like and also which TP you like. And after some practice, then you can go ahead and start executing it. Right. And if this is the candle you're talking about, if you're saying once you see this, then sell, yeah, I guess I'm not really big into candlestick patterns. So I don't read those really well. I know some people do. And if that's the case, or that's how you trade, where a certain candle will give you an indication of what's coming next, then you absolutely can trade that way. I'm not skilled in that, and don't know enough about the candlestick patterns and which follows after right afterwards, and how to I guess have confidence that the next candle is going to be what you believe. So for me, I don't trade that way. But again, if that's what you like, just come up with a hypothesis and say, I think this would work. I think I can get 10 points off of it every time. And then you grab the time frames that you trade and you go through and you look at every time that sets up. You then um, put the trade setup on the screen and see if it works out for you. And once you get something that's 60 to 70%, then you refine it further. And once it's solid at 70%, then you throw it in as one of the strategies that you use in your trading profile. So, yep. Sorry, I wasn't able to understand exactly what you were meaning, and we kept missing each other. All right, price is still inching closer, inching closer. High at 450. We want to see that broken and trade it above and see if we can't get price to run a little bit, because to get up to 484, we're starting to run out of time. We got about a half hour. Mm-mm-mm. All right. Potentially this is it. Let's see how this candle closes. Got a lot of energy just now. Yeah, cool, calm, collected. Go into the Discord and find a place to place it in there. I'll take a look. I've taken I have taken a trade in my demo. I'm currently in a long in my demo, but no, I haven't taken anything on Topstep today. Mm. Yep, I have a long entry from 424. And I already have my stop at break even, so it's just going as it goes. And we'll see if we make it to the previous day high. Hmm. Yep, so cool, calm. If this was the one that you were triggering from, and you saw this at the top and you said, okay, well, I feel like the next candle is going to sell. So you could have taken a short here. But remember, you would have had a fair value gap right here. So is this where where would you have exited? You could have exited here, maybe somewhere in here, because maybe it was just traded a little bit and then carried on. Um, Maybe you find an exit in this fair value gap somewhere. So, so that's why I'm saying that you have to back test to figure out how to trade that. It's not that you can't get into a positive or you start seeing that you potentially can make some money, but you'll need to know how to manage that trade. Hey, maybe price is waiting for 350 to do something. I hope it's not waiting for a earnings to be announced at 5 o'clock. All right, Young, take care. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Wiki, where you want to just close it just so you mentally don't have to think about it or worry about it anymore. And you just accept whatever it is that you accumulated so far and you put that into your piggy bank and you move on. History for me, like what happened to me is as soon as I closed that trade, the very next candle is going to take off and deliver exactly what I needed. Um, But still, even knowing that, it's still not worth it sometimes. I'm just gonna let it go for the next 20 minutes. It's in my demo account, and in fact, until I look over to that left bottom screen of mine, I forget I'm even in a trade. LP stands for legacy point. Legacy point. All right, Ash. Take care. See you tomorrow. All right, Wiki. See what happens. Absolutely, crypto. You're right about that. You're so right about that. Yeah, I like that first 100 ticks. Go ahead and get that first $500 out of the way. Go ahead and bag that one, and then see what the remainder of your contracts can do. All right, let's see if we can get a push either out of this fair value gap that it just traded into. No, I do not. I do not. I only have one account. Yep, you're right about that, Crypto Queen. Yep. Okay, we're in discount now, heading for 62%. Uh, it's Topstep. Table, Topstep. Right, we had a wick just into 71%. All right. Let's see. All right, we're into the last final 15 minutes. If there are any other questions that you guys want to ask, go ahead and put in the chat. Okay, we see a further meltdown in price. Looks like it's going to push down to the fair value gap we have at the 83% retracement level. And there it is. It's still pushing. Oh, wow. Now it's important to see where this candle closes, whether the fair value gap is invalidated or not. Okay, the last candle, remember it pressed all the way down, but it pulled back into the range to close above. And now we have this candle doing the same thing, pressing below the fair value gap. And let's Also wait to see where it closes. We got the 350 macro coming up in another 15 seconds. Okay, we had a sweep of another low here. Let's see if that was just a liquidity sweep or if it was more. I have not taken the macro. What levels at the bottom? Oh no, these are just fair value gaps. So this one is 409. This level started at 421. So I'm just looking at swing lows and I saw it pull this swing low. Right. The next one it just took as well. This one here. Unbelievable. So we've already seen 40 points dropped in the last 10 minutes or so. All right, geez, let's see if this order block holds. In fact, let's move up. Mm. Yesterday, if Apple misses the market, could really tank. Yeah, it could. But it said Apple, who else was it? It said Meta is also announcing today, and Google, I believe, or Amazon, one of the two. I think it was Amazon. Somebody mentioned Amazon. Mm. Yeah, Apple's also in multiple indices. Apple's in Nasdaq, but I believe I'm not mistaken, Apple's also in the S&P or the Dow, one of the two, if not all three. I know it's not an industrial company, so it's probably not in the Dow, but it's probably in the S&P at least. Mm-mm. Yeah, that is pretty wild. That's honestly, that's probably a sign that maybe we shouldn't be trading this week. Maybe we should be either paper trading or just tape reading. Hey, let's see if we get a build up of price out of this range here. Got a big rejection on this 5-minute candle. Wait, hold all the way through, close back towards the north end of the range. So far it's trading above, but it's bouncing back between these two fair value gaps. Make it a little larger for you. Three and a half minutes left. 3.5 minutes. Oh, it's the S&P. Okay, got it. Yeah, so that would be Nasdaq and S&P. If Apple doesn't meet its target, then yeah, we could see big drop there. Tomorrow should be fun though. I'm excited about tomorrow. New day opening gap. All right, let's see if price wants to continue to push. We still got 3 minutes until 4 o'clock. Mm. Yep. Thank you, Wiki, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. All right, there's the price action we were looking for. Go ahead and get up there. Yep. Go ahead, push through. All right, there we go. So that ends our trading day today. Thank you all for your attendance. Appreciate you being here. The chat was good today, so thank you all for that as well. Your participation is appreciated, and we'll be back tomorrow morning at 9:15. Don't forget, tomorrow is NFP. So anyone who is new and has never traded before or is unfamiliar with NFP, we'll be talking about that tomorrow morning. But it's a non-farm payroll. So tomorrow employment numbers come out, and that's a big deal for the economy. And yeah, that's all we got. And again, thanks for being here. We're back at it 9:15 tomorrow morning. Have a good evening. Cheers. Talk to you later.